Imagine stepping back in time, over 2,000 years ago. That's exactly what it feels like when you stand before the towering temples of Calakmul, a mighty Mayan city once hidden deep within the Mexican jungle. With my team, including the famous adventurer Mr. Beast, we were about to begin an epic exploration. The air was thick with the sounds of howler monkeys and the buzzing of insects, and the ancient stones seemed to whisper stories of a long-lost world. Our mission was to uncover the secrets of the Maya, to walk where kings once ruled, and to see wonders that very few people have ever laid eyes on. This wasn't just a trip, it was a journey into the heart of history itself. Our first challenge was to enter a massive pyramid. This wasn't just one building, but a pyramid built on top of another, like giant stacking blocks. The deeper we went, the older the temple became. We crouched low to squeeze through a dark, narrow tunnel, the very same passageway that Mayan priests and royalty might have used 1,000 years before us. Our torches cut through the darkness, revealing stone walls that had stood silent for centuries. It felt like we were being swallowed by the pyramid, moving further away from our world and deeper into the mysteries of the ancient Maya. Every step was filled with anticipation and a little bit of fear. Inside, our guide showed us something truly extraordinary: the funerary mask of a powerful king from the Snake Kingdom. This incredible artifact was discovered not long ago and is over 1,000 years old. The mask, made with intricate pieces of jade, was created to protect the king on his dangerous journey into the underworld. Looking at its detailed craftsmanship, you could almost feel the presence of the great ruler it was made for. It was a powerful reminder that these temples were not just empty buildings, but sacred places filled with treasure, belief, and the spirits of the past. It was a privilege to see something so rare and important. Deeper within the temple, we found incredible artwork painted directly onto the walls. These weren't just simple drawings, they were vibrant scenes telling the story of Mayan life 2,500 years ago. We saw images of people gathering for ceremonies, trading goods in a bustling market, and living their daily lives. It was like looking through a window into the past. Digital recreations helped us imagine what these faded paintings would have looked like in their full glory, bursting with color and activity. These ancient murals were a history book written on stone, giving us a precious glimpse into a civilization that thrived in the jungle so long ago. The ancient Maya believed that caves were sacred gateways, the mouths of a great earth monster leading to the underworld. Our adventure took us to one of these spooky places, a cave filled with thousands upon thousands of bats. As we stepped inside, a cloud of them swirled around our heads, their wings making a rustling sound in the darkness. We were searching for treasure, but it felt more like we had walked into a real-life monster's lair. The air was damp and smelled of earth. Though we didn't find any gold, the experience of being surrounded by so many nocturnal creatures in such a mystical place was a treasure in itself. Our next stop was even more incredible: the Cave of the Tree of Life. Before we could enter, a shaman, a spiritual guide, performed a special ceremony. He burned incense and chanted ancient words, asking the spirits of the cave for permission to enter their sacred home. The Maya believed this cave was the origin of humanity, the very place where the first people came from. Inside, we saw why it was so special. A giant rock formation, created by dripping water over thousands of years, looked exactly like a massive saber tree, the Mayan tree of life. Around its base were ancient clay pots, left as offerings to the gods centuries ago. The deepest part of our cave exploration was the most dangerous. We had to go so far down that the air became too thin to breathe on its own. Strapping on oxygen tanks felt like we were preparing for a dive into the ocean, but instead, we were descending into the heart of the earth. The tunnel was tight, and we went down a distance equal to 2 football fields. Our guide pointed out ancient pieces of broken pottery, artifacts left behind by the Maya. These shards are protected history, and we were careful not to disturb them. Being so far underground, relying on tanks for every breath, was both thrilling and terrifying. At the very end of the low oxygen tunnel, our torch beams landed on something that made us all jump: a huge spider perched right in our path. It was a stark reminder that we were visitors in a wild and untamed world. Seeing that massive arachnid was our cue. It was time to turn back. As we made the long climb back to the surface, back to the world of fresh air and sunlight, we carried with us the memory of the deep, dark, and sacred places we had been allowed to see. The Maya saw these caves as portals to another realm, and after our journey, we understood why. After exploring temples and caves, it was time to experience Mayan culture firsthand. We visited a 2,000-year-old ball court to learn about a game called pits. This was not like any sport you see today. The players had to get a solid rubber ball through a high stone hoop using only their hips, shoulders, and thighs, no hands allowed. It's incredibly difficult. We tried it ourselves, and it was nearly impossible to even hit the hoop, let alone score a goal. The Mayans who played this game must have been amazing athletes with incredible skill and strength to compete in such a challenging sport. The game of pits was more than just entertainment, it was a serious and sacred ritual. We learned a chilling fact about how the game sometimes ended. According to legend, the captain of the losing team could be sacrificed as an offering to the gods. It shows how important this game was to their culture and religion. Standing on that ancient court, you could almost hear the crowds cheering and feel the intense pressure the players were under. It was a game of life and death, played for the honor of their city and the favor of their gods. It made our clumsy attempts to play feel very insignificant in comparison. After our exhausting game of pits, we needed to cool off. The perfect solution was a swim in a cenote. A cenote is a natural wonder, a deep sinkhole in the limestone rock that fills with crystal clear fresh water. For the Maya, these were not only sources of water, but also places for relaxation and spiritual cleansing. Plunging into the cool, refreshing pool felt amazing after the heat of the jungle. Sunlight streamed down from the opening above, lighting up the water in beautiful shades of blue and green. It was the perfect way to relax and appreciate the natural beauty of the Yucatan Peninsula. To end our day of cultural immersion, we sat down for a special dinner. We ate a meal made from the same ingredients the Maya used over 1,000 years ago. The star of the show was corn, which was a staple of their diet. We had delicious tacos, filled with savory meats and fresh vegetables, all wrapped in corn tortillas. It was incredible to think that we were tasting flavors that have been part of this region's history for millennia. Sharing this meal was a wonderful way to connect with the past, understanding that the food people eat is a huge part of their story and their legacy. Our final destination was the most famous of all, the Great Temple of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza. This magnificent pyramid is one of the 7 wonders of the world, and seeing it in person is breathtaking. It stands perfectly preserved, a testament to the incredible engineering and astronomical knowledge of the Mayan people. We learned about one of its coolest secrets. If you stand in front of the pyramid and clap your hands, the echo that comes back doesn't sound like a clap at all. It sounds like the chirp of the sacred Quetzal bird, a sound the Maya engineered into the building on purpose. Today, no one is allowed to climb the steep steps of the temple to protect it. But we had a special tool, a drone. We flew our drone right up to the top, giving us a bird's-eye view of the secret room at the pyramid's peak. What did we find inside? The room was completely empty. Our guide explained that hundreds of years ago, Spanish conquerors took many of the treasures and artifacts that were once here. Using technology, we were shown a digital recreation of what the temple might have looked like in its prime, covered in bright colors and filled with important objects. It was a sad reminder of how much history has been lost. The adventure with Mr. Beast was more than just exploring old ruins. It was about connecting with a powerful and brilliant civilization. From the King's Mask in Calakmul to the Sacred Tree of Life in the cave, every artifact and location told a piece of the Mayan story. We saw how they built massive cities without modern tools, how they understood the stars, and how they created a complex society with deep spiritual beliefs. These temples are not just tourist attractions, they are monuments to human ingenuity and culture that have survived for thousands of years in the harsh jungle environment. It is so important that we continue to protect these amazing sites. They are a link to our shared human past and hold countless more secrets waiting to be discovered by future archaeologists. By learning about the Maya, we learn more about what people are capable of. Their history is written in the stones of their temples, the art on their walls, and the traditions that still live on in the region today. Remembering and respecting the legacy of the Maya ensures that their incredible story will never be forgotten, inspiring adventurers and historians for generations to come.